Alright, hey, Hayes and Mega here, and welcome to another video in the WR250E saga. Alright, WR250E Chronicles. Okay, that's what I call it. So, I've been doing a ton of work on the front motor mount. Alright, so the front motor mount, the previous owner, they kind of did their own fabrication on it, and they didn't do such a good job. Alright, and so I was there cleaning it up and reinforcing it, making it stronger. Alright, so what we did is I extended the front motor mount more because for whatever reason they didn't extend it all the way, right? And I reinforced some of the mounting holes and stuff with the welder, right? It was a lot of welding work. And then I readjusted the spacers on it and everything, all right? We put a new stronger bolts and stuff. And yeah, so that was the first step in strengthening the motor mount. The next step was to build braces, all right? So I built braces that go from the motor, the Lithium King motor mount in the middle. All right, basically we bolted it from the middle of the motor mount to the front motor mount, the one that's on the top. Okay, the one that just holds the battery up. All right, the battery tray. And then so now the front is like, it's rock solid. It's really strong. Okay. And then so I have a feeling that the back needs to be reinforced. Okay. Let's go take a look at the rear mount, and then let's see what we got to do. All right. So basically, so here's the gist of it. The Lithium King mount, it floats on a pipe. Okay. Let me show you again. All right. So that motor mount is from Lithium King. Okay, guys, and they tell you to buy this pipe. All right. You're using this pipe, and this pipe goes over your swing arm axle. All right. So your swing arm axle kind of pivots inside this thing, and then what it's mounted to is this, all right? So you slip the Lithium King mounts over this, all right? And then you mount it on there, and like it's just kind of just floating there, all right? And so the motor could move, all right? It can, like I said, it's floating. It could move left and right, all right? And I kind of don't like that. I kind of want to lock it in, all right? So I'm not sure, but I don't think you have to do anything. You can just let it float there, but I'd rather it not, okay? It's okay. This thing still, does this still pivot? That's a good question. I mean, it'll still pivot on this. Okay, so this is the pipe that they tell you to buy. So you use it as a spacer in between the swing arm. All right. So this takes up the slack on the swing arm when you tighten it. All right. So it's got something to tighten on. Normally the engine mounts would be mounted to this. Okay, guys. Okay, yeah, normally the engine is mounted to this thing, okay? It's mounted to the swing arm bolt, all right? To keep it from floating, what we're going to do is we're going to add spacers on top of this. So if it does try to move, the spacers will restrict the movement. And you know, we can let it move a little bit. That's fine if it moves a little bit, but I don't want it to move a whole lot, all right? And I think what's also happening is the mount is twisting and stuff too, so that's not good either, all right? Really, they kind of stretched everything to fit on this, okay? It's not in there like properly, all right? But anyway, so we're going to make the rear motor mount stronger by locking the rear mounts into place, okay? That way they won't move a lot, okay? I don't mind if they move a little bit, but if they move a lot, then I don't like that. And also it messes up the motor alignment, all right? And the motor the chain tension and all that stuff. Yeah, if the motor moves at all, it affects the chain tension, okay? And I think it is affecting it. That's why Hayes Meg is trying to make this motor mount as rock solid as possible, okay? Because it's going to be subjected to a lot of abuse, okay? So let's say, all right? Okay, so let's go see what we're working with. It should be pretty easy. The only hard part is taking it off with the swing arm, all right? And we'll try to figure that out, all right? Okay, guys, so there's the rear mount. Let me go get... Okay, I got a caliper here. We can take some measurements first, all right? But supposedly this is the pipe that's in there, okay, guys? So let's take... Our first measurement will be the pipe itself, okay? So the pipe is 20 millimeters outer diameter, and the inner diameter is 16.8, all right? Or just about 17 millimeters. Is the inner diameter. Yeah, just 16.8. All right. So that's what I hope is this size. All right. Let's go take a measurement of this. So here's the way this puppy works. All right, guys. And yeah, Hades Mega is learning stuff as he goes along as well. All right, like I said, I didn't build this. I'm just refining it. Okay. So here's the Lithium King mount. All right, this is the mount for the motor, and it goes over this pipe. All right, and like I said, the pipe is supposed to take up the space between the swing arm. All right, so it's got something to bite onto. Okay, so it just floats here. All right, so this slips over that pipe, and it just floats over this. All right, so what we want to do is we want to lock this in place, how it is right now, so it doesn't move anymore. Okay, there's some I can see some washers in there, man. I guess they use some washers as spacers also, man. Well, we'll see when we get it all apart. That's fine. Whatever works, man. So we need to make 3 spacers, guys. We need to make one here, and one here, and then one here. All right, and that should keep the rear mount from shifting left and right. Okay. I mean, we stiffen the front mount up so much that it probably won't move. That's my guess. All right, but we want to try to keep it from happening. Okay. Okay, so to keep it from moving, I have, well, bam, this pipe. All right, so this pipe, all right, goes into this pipe. Okay, that's how it works. All right, it's a little loose, is what I want to say. All right, but that's okay. It could be a little loose. So this pipe is 25 millimeter outer diameter. All right, 25 millimeter outer diameter, and the inner diameter. All right, and I bought this off of Amazon. It had the measurements on it, but we're doing a real measurement here. Okay, and about 21 millimeters. Okay, so 21 millimeters, and this one is 20 millimeters. All right, so it's a millimeter bigger. All right, a little bit. I did buy another one. Let me see. Okay, I did buy this. Someone on Electric Dirt Bike Forum is the one that told me about this. Okay, guys. So I bought this materials, all right, just in case. So this one is 25. It's the same 25 millimeter outer diameter, but the inside is probably like a 20 or something. Yeah, this was like a 20, 19.9. All right. Well, the outer diameter on this one is 20, so it's not gonna fit. Okay, it's like 0.2 millimeters too big to fit inside that other one. So we're not gonna do that one. We're gonna do the bigger one. Okay, guys. So it doesn't fit. It's pretty close. Yeah, you know, if Hades Mega was really high speed, we can just put this on the lathe and then, you know, turn it down a little bit so it fits perfectly. But that's okay. Okay, I think a little bit of play will be okay. All right. It's all it is just to keep this from sliding back and forth. Okay, and so I'm going to take the measurement from how it is right now. All right, so I feel that the motor is in the position how we want it. All right, so I don't want to mess around with it. The chain alignment and everything is good. All right, so I don't want it to move any more from here. Okay, so what we'll do is I'll take some measurements. All right, so obviously we're going to be using these. We're going to be using this pipe to make the spacers. Okay. This is just an example of what's on there, but yeah, let's measure what's on there first, okay? Okay, so the pipe all right is 20.36. Is that the same as this one? Our model one? No, it's actually bigger. Ooh, 20.36. Yeah, it's actually bigger than this. That's interesting. So maybe I don't know where they got that pipe from, but it's different. It's a little bit smaller. No, it's a little bit bigger than this, guys. So, what did we say it was? Check it again. All right, 20.3, all right. And the pipe that we want to use is this one. We got to check the inner on this one. Okay, it fits. It fits good. Okay. It's 20.8, so it's just slightly, it's 20.9. All right, it's slightly bigger. All right, so which is fine. All right, it's still bigger. This is a little bit bigger than the pipe that I have, but the other one is the pipe that I have is still bigger. Okay, so that's fine. We want it bigger, or yeah, you want it a little bit bigger, or a lot bit bigger. Okay, so it's kind of in a lot bit bigger, but that's fine. Okay. As long as it sits on this just fine, I don't care. Okay. Yeah, let's go measure that real quick. Okay, so we probably don't want it bigger than 31 millimeters, right? And I don't think it is. Okay, so. Okay, so the next thing we got to do is I got to figure out what spacers we need to cut. All right, so I'm going to go measure this, and then yeah, we can adjust it and stuff. All right. I think there's a washer right here. It's either a washer. That's not a washer. That's a spacer for the swing arm. Okay, so that's a swing arm spacer. So we need. I wonder if we can go over that. Let me see. That's another good question. There's a swing arm spacer bolt right there. What we might need to do is make it bigger on the outsides to go over that spacer. All right, and that's a 22 right on the money. All right, well this one is not a 22. All right, this is the wrong one. All right, this is a 21. This is too small. This will not go over the spacer that's inside the swing arm, unfortunately. Okay, but what we could do is we could just make it bigger. All right, make the outside part bigger, but the rest of it could be the same size. Okay, so that's what we might do to get that fit in there, because this is a 25. All right, so that's will definitely fit over there if we make the hole a little bit bigger. Okay, so if we need to do that, we'll do that. I'm not really sure, but I think that's the spacer that's in here. All right, that the swing arm bearings float on. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so another thing is we have to take this chain. We have to take this chain off. All right, guys. So Hazel is going to go do that right now. That's another thing we got to do. We got to take the chain off. The whole motors. We got to take the whole motor out. Okay, guys. So we're going to unbolt the front. I got to make sure I remember how many spacers we had on here. Okay. So we put it back the right way. Okay, and then yeah. Okay. So also what I'll do is I'll put these middle mounts back on. All right, we'll bolt the mid mounts back on. I took them off because we're going to put our braces back on. Okay. Okay, but yeah, we got to take the motor out is what's going to happen. So we got to unbolt this, and then we're gonna. What Hayes Omega's planning to do is we got to take the chain off. So here's what's going to happen to get this motor out. All right, the chain's got to come off. All right. And then we've got to unbolt it. I've already unbolted it. All right, the nuts hasn't been in there. Okay, for quite a while. And then we have to slide the swing arm axle out. All right. So what I'll probably do is take the wheel off. Yeah, we can take the wheel off, I guess. So the swing arm's a little lighter. We're gonna take the bolt out, and then I'm gonna stick another bolt on the other side. So this. The swing arm doesn't fall out. Okay, I just need to get the bolt out enough so yeah, we can keep the bolt in there. All right, we'll keep it in just enough so we can get the motor out. Okay, guys, and then yeah, so once we get the bolt out, we should be able to pull the motor out. Okay, so that's a scoop, guys. I hope so. So once that bolt is cleared, all right, we pull it out enough right here. This should just come right out. Okay, and then the whole motor assembly with the motor mount and everything will come right out. Okay, that's the plan. And then we put the spacers in, and then we put it back in. Okay, and then that's it. All right, so that's the theory. All right, the what's going to happen. All right, so we'll find out what's really going to happen later on. All right, guys, because it's always different, right? Okay, so yeah, let me take this. I got the old Tusk Masterlink clip pliers. I'm looking for that Masterlink. There it is. Okay, chain's out. I don't really care about that chain anyway because we're going to replace it when we get there. Okay. Okay, the wheel is free now. I think I'm gonna take the rear wheel off also. Okay, so I'm gonna be stuck on the stand now. Oh yeah, the mic doesn't fall over. Oh, and it did fall over. Maybe we should have left the wheel on there. That's okay. Okay, the bike is wanting to flop forward, and I can't move it easily on the stand if I do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strap it to my stand so it doesn't flop forward like that. Okay, it's kind of flopping around still a little bit, but I think it's fine. Maybe I should use a ratchet strap. Okay, so that should keep it on the stand, keep it from flopping around, so I can move it if I want to. Okay, because I think this is going to take a while to do this project here. Okay, so I think this is the only pipe that we're going to be needing. Okay, so this is the one we're going to make the spacers out of. Like I said, we're going to cut it into the sections right there, so it doesn't move around all that much. Okay. If there's a little bit of play, that's fine. All right. So the other pipes that I bought, the other two sizes I bought, that's okay. We can use it for other projects. All right. It's all good, man. They're made out of aluminum also, by the way. Okay, so I've got the swing arm axle nut right here. All right. I took it off a while ago. We're going to measure how big this is. So when we pull it out, we're going to push in another section. We're going to push in another pipe in there, or nut, or whatever, to keep it from the swing arm from falling out. Okay, we want to keep the swing arm in there. All right, the only thing we want to do is remove the motor. Okay, so it's about 14 millimeters, somewhere around there. Should be fine. Okay, as long as the swing arm doesn't fall off the bike, I don't care. 14 millimeters. We're looking. Oh man, what luck. Okay, so we've got a 13.5 millimeters. All right, that's pretty close to 14. All right, so and that was 14, right? Ew, it's like a whole millimeter bigger. So that's the closest one I can find, guys. But that should go in there like that, and it should keep the swing arm from moving too much. All right, so we're gonna stick that in there, and it will keep the swing arm from falling out. Okay, so it's gonna go in there. Okay, and there's also the spacers in there too. So okay, so this is what we're gonna use. What this is it's a punch. Okay, it's a hole. It's a like a kind of hole punch. So if you got a 14. I think this is 13.5, right? 13.5 millimeter hole that you need to punch like a dimple in. All right, for like drilling. Then you would stick this through that hole, and then you would hit it. It would center it, and then you hit it, and it'll make a mark dead center. All right, if this fits perfectly in the hole. Okay, so anyway, we're going to use this as an axle. Okay. He's just going to take a bunch of measurements, okay, guys? So I'm going to measure the diameter of the pipe, the distance between this bracket to the swing arm, the center spacer, and then the other spacer, the spacer that's towards the left side of the bike, okay? I'm going to take those measurements with the caliper as best as I can, all right, so I know what spacers we need to cut, all right? Yeah, we have to, it has to be pretty close, guys, okay? Like I mentioned. And I guess it's okay to have it too big, then we can, all we have to do is shave it down, right? If I would rather have it too big than too short, right? And then we could shave it. And we'll also use a pipe cutter so the cuts are nice and straight, okay? We can't have it like wobbly and everything, all right? I will take measurements of the swing arm axle, the nut and all that stuff. And the spacers that we're going to use, all right, and then I will so I will write everything down, and then I'll let you guys know in the next video clip. All right, here's Meg here, and so I've got the measurements. Kaplam! All right, so this is my handiwork there. All right, that's my drawing. All right, guys. This is supposed to be from the top down, looking at the swing arm. All right, so this is the front. This is the left, and that's the right. All right, so there's going to be 3 spacers, 1, 2, 3. All right, that's the swing arm. That's the spacer that the Lithium King mount is floating over. Is 20.25 millimeters. Okay, guys, 20.25 millimeters. Okay, and then yeah, so the spacers that are inside the swing arm, all right, for the bearings, are 22 millimeters, what I measured. All right, the swing arm axle is about 14 millimeters. I guess we'll find out when we pull it out, man. I tried to measure it while it's in there, but it's kind of hard, man. I just measured the nut. The nut's about 14. This is the pipe. All right, the pipe that we're going to use as a spacer. Outer diameter is 25 millimeters. The inner diameter is 20.75. All right, so the difference between this spacer and this spacer is 0.5 millimeters. Okay, so there's going to be a little bit of play. All right, which is it's fine. Okay. So what I measured, man, this first one is really hard to get. The one that's really close to the counter sprocket here. All right, the one right there. Right here, it's really hard to measure. One, the mount is bent, all right, it's tweaked, so we can't get like an exact measurement. Hopefully when we put it in there, it'll straighten it out, all right. That's my hope. It's going to straighten out that motor mount, and then it'll like be proper, all right. As it stands, man, I feel like we should probably make the center section a little bit longer, and then this side smaller. I wish we could use washers. That's what we might want to do. If I can find a washer that can, like a 20 millimeter washer, I don't know where you can find those, man. But it would be better to use washers on this side, all right? But I can't find any like that, all right? I don't think we have anything like that. So we're going to have to use these spacers, all right? So it's important that we cut them straight. We're going to use a pipe cutter, all right? Anyway, the first measurement, all right, the one all the way near the counter sprocket is the smallest. I measured it at 12.55, all right? And like I said, the mount is bent, all right? So it could be more or less, all right? But hopefully when we put it all together, it straightens it out. That's what I'm hoping, okay? The second one, all right, number 2 is the one in the middle. That's probably the most important one, all right? Is 40.94 millimeters, all right? And then number 3, all right, the farthest, the one on the right, is 23.65 millimeters, all right? So that's what we need to cut. My idea is, that's a good question. I'm wondering if the mount needs to go more this way or that way. That's a good question. Like I said, I kind of don't want to move it because it seems like it's okay where it is right now. I'm pretty happy with the way it is, but it looks like the sprocket is like out this way more. So it would help if we made the inside mount a little bit. I mean the inside spacer, number 2 spacer, a little bit longer. Right, and that would push the right side mount out a little bit. All right. Yeah, we'd have to make everything bigger, right? Yeah, because if you make one thing bigger, what it'll do is it's just flexing the mount. That's all it's doing. Okay, and we kind of don't want that. We want it to just sit there nicely. Okay. Another thing I noticed is that the pipe, the spacer pipe that the spacer for the swing arm, right, for the inside of the swing arm that the Lithium King mount is floating on, is not cut straight, guys. It's cut crooked. I'm like, God damn it. Come on. I'm like, so I'm gonna see if we get, since we bought that other pipe, I'm gonna see if we can make a new one and make one that's straight. Alright, guys? That has a straight cut. It's not a big deal, alright? It's not a deal breaker. As you can see, it's been running like that for quite some time, alright? But it's just, yeah, Hayes Mega wants it to be perfect, alright? And then I've noted how many spacers there are for the front, because we're going to take the front apart again. The left spacer is 4 washers, and the right is this aluminum spacer that we have plus 1 washer, right? And then everything that's on the outside doesn't matter. So I think we're ready to go do it. I feel like we should make this one 40 millimeters. All right, so it'll push it in a little bit. All right, maybe, yeah, we'll cut everything down 1 millimeter, and then we'll start. We can start shimming it, yeah, shimming it. All right, just until everything fits in there. It's gonna be a pain in the butt, guys. All right. Now it would be better if we just made everything all precise. But like I mentioned, that the left side motor mount is bent. All right, it's crooked. All right, so yeah, we gotta try to straighten that out as best as we can. Okay. So that's the scoop, guys. Let's start taking it apart.